Hello, my friends, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading, your blue moon reading. We have a blue moon in May. It's the second full moon of the month, and it's in Sagittarius. We're going to be focusing on freedom, optimism, travel, wisdom, strength, and it is ruled by Jupiter. So we're talking about your truth, your ultimate truth. A lot of the things that we'll be discussing may be things that you've been working on since November, December of last year when we had a new moon in Sagittarius. So this is kind of coming full circle on projects that you've been working on, but we are moving into June and now we have got to push through and get those jobs done. The reading is going to be, what threads have I dropped, either due to distractions or other priorities, since about November, December, when we were maybe starting new projects or you had some intentions then, or things that were just going on then. What am I succeeding at right now? What's working? Where do I need to pivot? What changes do I need to make to stay on trajectory here? Where do I need to push through? And I had the image of the little bud of a flower pushing through the dirt, or the bud opening. What do you need to put your energy in to make sure that you are completing this project or intention? Where do I need to expand? Does that mean that I need to give myself some more freedom? Do I need to do some travel? How do I need to open things up so I can accept more in? And where do I aim my arrow? What is my ultimate focus right now going forward? So pick a pile that is calling to you. We have the Linestrider Tarot here with a blue Sodalite stone. We have the Star Tarot right here with a blue lace agate. And we have the Shapeshifter Tarot right here with a Lapis Lazuli sphere moving around there. So pick your pile and then go to the timestamp below to get to your reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome. My group number one, you have selected the Linestrider Tarot with the blue Sodalite. This is your reading. Sodalite is really good for logic and clarity, deep objective thought. So most likely you were drawn to this because you might have been working on something that you need a little more clarification. You need to kind of dig deeper on your motivation of moving forward with this action. So we're going to start with card number one. What threads have I dropped? So most likely as you've been working toward this intention or action, you've had some distractions or some priorities have changed. And we have King of Cups reversed. Card number two is, what am I succeeding at right now? What is working? And we have the Fool. Card number three is, where do I need to pivot? What changes can I make right now to kind of get me where I'm going? We've got 10 of Cups. Card four is, where do I need to push through? We've got the Death card. So this is kind of like maybe some friction or a wall that you've come across, and how can we get through that? Card number five is, where do I need to expand? That means bringing in some new opportunities, new thoughts, freedom, travel. We've got the High Priestess reversed. And where do I need to aim my arrow? Where is my focus? We have Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so make a little more room here. King of Cups reversed. What threads have I dropped? I feel like maybe in the last few months, your distractions mostly centered around potentially some people in your life, maybe that might have influenced you to go a different direction. Maybe in some ways something slightly nefarious happened. Maybe you lost some money. Maybe someone took your idea that you were going to pursue as either a new business or maybe a advancement in your career, and you just kind of got sidetracked. It was kind of a big blow, kind of took all the air out of you on moving forward and trying something new. And that's where we're at right now. You need to kind of push through this, move forward. This was just something that happened and does not affect your long-term plans. Card number 2, what am I succeeding at right now? You've got the Fool. So I feel like you're aware that you got kind of off track. It was kind of a blow, but the Fool is telling me that you're still being very optimistic, and that's great, especially for Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius is a very optimistic sign. You know that you're still able to move forward. It might feel like you're starting over again, but you're not really afraid of it. You have a lot of faith moving forward that even if this last opportunity passed you over, that there is the next one. So that is a great optimistic mindset. So good job with that. Keep that going, definitely. We've got over here, we've got 10 of Cups. Where do I need to pivot? Where do I need to make some changes? And 10 of Cups is a very positive card as well. But the changes I think we want to make is you kind of, maybe because of this recent blow, kind of came back into your home life a little bit more of your comfort zone. And that's okay. You kind of needed a reset and you needed a rest, and you have a lot of support with that. But I think right now is time to break out of that comfort zone and, challenge yourself. Know that maybe going forward, it is going to not, it might affect your home life a little bit, but not a lot. I think that you have a lot of support here, and I think they all are pushing you to move forward as well. So yeah, you should do that. Just know that you have the support, but don't get stuck there. Don't think that every day is about going home and just watching some TV or tapping on the iPad. It's just about maybe breaking yourself out of some of those routines that you've kind of built since these changes have happened and making some new habits. Card number 4 is, where do I need to push through? And here I'm like, the image I was getting with this was like a bud coming out of the dirt, flower opening and expending that energy to open up. And Death card's actually a great card for this because it is there's a lot of flower symbolism because it is all about transition. Growth comes from the ending of something in the past. So I think here we're pushing through some fear. We're pushing through just some resistance that you're having right now. Maybe you're having a fear of that transition, a fear of the change. I feel that over here, especially you wanting to kind of be in your comfort zone. So it's kind of the same message here, is that you just kind of need to push through that pain and that change and be open to the transitions that are coming up for you. And when you feel that resistance, like, this is kind of too hard, I just want to go back to where something was easier, just know that that's the universe telling you now is not the time to rest. Now is the time to push, no matter how scary it is, no matter what unknowns are out there, you just kind of have to keep going. Where do I need to expand? And Sagittarius is a lot about like freedom and travel. So I wanted to see something open here as far as expansion. And the message is very similar to everything else. I think you are stuck on kind of a narrow scope, a narrow view. I think when you had these plans and these ideas that you were initially moving forward to that kind of sidetracked you, that you kind of, you knew it. You had it in your gut, like, this is what I need to do. This is what it's been building up to. And when that rug was pulled out from under you, you kind of felt like you didn't really have a backup plan, right? The High Priestess can be very open as far as new ideas and digging deeper into some really good concentrated thought, maybe going back for some more education and knowledge to help build up those skills. But when it's reversed, it's talking about almost narrowing too much of a focus. Maybe as you're searching for this next goal, you're kind of, using those same keywords over and over and over again is the best way I can see it. So maybe open up your potential ideas to something that maybe you never thought about. And that's what this Sodalite's here for, is to go deeper into your thoughts, expand and widen your options, because if you are manifesting something in your life, the universe wants to give it to you the fastest it can, but you have to be open to letting the universe kind of decide how best that goes to you. What is the ultimate outcome you want? And where do I need to aim my arrow? We have the Ace of Wands reversed, which is usually a really good card of initial action and going and making plans and yay. But it can also, especially in a reverse situation, kind of feel like your direction might be going a little backwards, or maybe you're slowing down. I just feel that, especially over here, like you're just kind of trying to find that motivation. So what I think the summary here is, yeah, kind of stunk what happened in the past, but you're still optimistic, which is great. But you're optimistic in a very cozy comfort zone place, and you really, really need to kind of push through and get out of that comfort zone. Expand what kind of ideas and opportunities that you could potentially do moving forward. Maybe just something you've never even experienced before. And then just go for it. Don't overthink it. Let those intuitions and thoughts come in a natural way that comes with ease, without restriction. And yeah, just move forward. So I'm excited for you, Pile 1. This is really good stuff. You can do this. I am giving you tons of support. You just gotta do it. So this is for full moon in Sagittarius. This will probably be very relevant for you, probably for the next few weeks to a month, and then onward from there. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Welcome, pile number 2, my group number 2. This is your reading. You chose the Star Tarot with the blue lace agate. So you've been called to this reading because mostly you are working on some communication skills. We're trying to speak your truth. We're trying to get some clarity and inner wisdom, and I think right now you really just need some calming, something calm, and I think that's why the star is being called to you. So your first card is, what threads have I dropped? So some distractions, priorities have changed since you started taking some initial actions, most likely around 6 months ago, toward the end of November, beginning of December. So what has changed since then? And we have the Knight of Cups reversed. Card number 2 is, what am I succeeding at right now? What is working while I'm moving forward? And we have the Hangman reversed. Card number 3 is, where do I need to pivot? What changes should I make right now? What's just not working right now? And we've got the High Priestess. Card number 4 is, where do I need to push through? So the imagery I got from that was just the little plant, the little sprout just coming out of the ground and having to push through. And we have got the Prince of Swords. Card number 5 is, where do I need to expand? Sagittarius is about like freedom and travel and just being open. So where do you need to expand right now? And we have got the Empress reversed. Card number 6 is, where do I need to aim my arrow? Where do I need to focus? Where do I need to just like be straight as an arrow here? And we've got the Emperor reversed. So we have got, that is really crazy that we've got 2, 3, and 4 of the major here. So you needed to be here. You need to hear this message. It is trying to be very loud to you. So our first card is Knight of Cups. This is in the position of, what threads have I dropped? Distractions and priorities have changed. Knight of Cups is usually a pretty focused card. It has a really good direction. It leads with passion and heart. And I think you might have kind of maybe lost a little bit of passion recently. Maybe you were really gung-ho about moving forward with this new project. I feel like it might have been either a new relationship, a new business relationship, a artistic project that you might have been really, really passionate about, maybe trying to think about how to get creative and do more of things that you really, really love to do. But you kind of either taken a step back because either the passion there isn't as strong, maybe something got in the way of you justifying yourself being creative or open to new experiences. So that, I think, is kind of what's held you back a little bit. What are you succeeding at right now? You're really, we've got the Hangman here. You've got the eye on the prize, definitely. I think you are a solid manifester. I think that you usually are someone that goes out and gets what they want, no ifs, ands, or buts, and doesn't normally get distracted. I like to say you're a little more focused than most people. But something along the way is just kind of taking you away from your focus a little bit. So keep the focus, keep like the idea you have, the drive, the intention that you have right now is a good one, and it will get you where you want to go because you can be very single-minded about it. But you've got to be emotionally involved with it too, not just logic. And I think you were drawn here because you are a logic-based person, a thoughtful person. And yeah, I think we need to throw a bit more emotion in here, a bit more passion. Where do you need to pivot? We have the High Priestess. I feel like you may be over-educating yourself a little bit. Maybe you're waiting for just the right moment. And if we know anything, there's no such thing as the perfect moment to move forward with anything. I think maybe making excuses on, oh, I just need to do this, I need to do this. There's a lot of perfectionism going on right there. But the High Priestess is saying, just walk on through the door. Just go through. You got this. You got the things that you need. The Magician's right before her, and the Magician has the tools. High Priestess has the education and the intuition to move forward, and you just have to have the faith to move forward between those pillars. So you're a very thoughtful person, but sometimes overthinking can get you stuck. Where do you need to push through? We have the Prince of Swords, the Page of Swords. I think this is here to say, yes, your thoughts on paper are right. You've done the A column and the B column, and you've thought this very much through. And the Prince is telling you a message that you have all the pieces to put together to be able to move forward. So again, if we're going to a relationship, a business relationship, or an artistic endeavor, a side gig that you're working on right now, you have all the pieces in place. And the Page of Swords is like just chomping at the bit, not quite the Knight with that action, but you have already been given the messages from the universe that you need, that yes, you're on the right path. So you just have to push through the fact that maybe self-doubt might be holding you back. And the Prince is saying, no, don't doubt it, just do it. Where do I need to expand? I put this here because Sagittarius represents like freedom and travel and being open and trying new things. We have the Empress reversed, which is a super pretty Empress card. There's so much life and growth, and we are in the growing season right now, right? When it's reversed, it usually kind of means that it kind of connects to this, that some of that creative, passionate part of you, the part of you that loves to learn new things and grow and expand and create, has been kind of sitting on the back table for a little bit. I think the Knight of Cups is saying the same thing. This card, where it is in its position of where do I need to expand, dig deeper into those creative juices. We are moving into June. We are in the growth season right now. Now is the time that we need to tend the garden that we've already planted. So a lot of those ideas that you've had in the past and the next steps that you wanted to take, you've already planted those seeds. They're already there. You've already started those intentions. And right now is just tending it, watering it, giving it new life. And the Empress really wants you to do that. She wants to see the growth that's coming this summer. And where do I need to aim my arrow? Where do I need to focus? You have the Emperor reversed. And goodness sakes, it's very similar to what the Empress is saying, but it's more about taking responsibility for that growth. A lot of this is like, I feel like you have been a very independent person for a very long time, especially, I'm going to talk about like the last 6 months, especially since November. You've probably had to be the most responsible person in your family, in your social circle. It can be a bit of a drain with that. So when you take a step back of the things that you truly wanted to do, when you have passions, when you have ideas, when you have new ventures, when you have new relationships you want to create, you kind of tend to make some excuses on like, well, I had to take care of everybody else, so I couldn't do that. And the Emperor reverse is saying like, no. You can take responsibility. You can do this. You can be the one that says, I'm responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you. I'm responsible for my happiness and my growth, and I cannot take care of you until I am fulfilled. So Emperor says, just do it. Get her done. Set some really good boundaries. Sagittarius is good about setting boundaries right now because you need that expansion. You need that room to be able to breathe before you can bring in anything new into your life. So quick summary. These are all about, clicking back to what you were initially passionate about, that you were working on, that you got sidetracked mostly because of having to be responsible for other people, or just some perfectionism that came in and made you overthink those next steps instead of just taking that leap of faith and moving forward and doing something that fills your cup and makes you feel fulfilled. And that will ultimately open up a lot of doors for you, especially in this growing season. I feel like this reading is going to last you probably through July. You have a little work to do, but this is a big growing season for you right now, and you need to put as much energy into that passion project, that relationship, that job, that business that you are really, really working on. So thanks so much for hanging out and visiting, and happy full moon in Sagittarius. Welcome, pile 3, my group 3. Welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading, our blue moon reading. You selected the Shapeshifter Tarot with the Lapis Lazuli sphere here. This reading is going to focus a lot on some inner wisdom, being your authentic self, higher knowledge. So let's see what your reading is all about. Card number 1 is, what threads have I dropped? What distractions or priorities have changed? And we've got 5 of Pentacles. Card number 2 is, what am I succeeding at right now? What is working right now? And we've got the 10 of Cups. Card number 3 is, where should I pivot? What changes should I be making right now? And we got Warrior Water. That is Knight of Cups. Where do I need to push through? And the imagery I was getting with this particular section is like a bud coming through the dirt, like a sprout coming through the dirt, a bud opening. So pushing that extra energy to see the sun. And we have got Queen of Swords. Card number 5 is, where do I need to expand? Sagittarius is a lot about freedom and travel and opening up new horizons. And where do you need to open up? We have the Moon reversed. Card number 6 is, where do I need to aim my arrow? Where do I need to focus? Where do I need to just be straight? And we have 5 of Wands reversed. Okay, so let's start with card number 1. What threads have I dropped? What distractions or priorities are kind of pushing me in a direction that is not where I want to be or where I want to go? We have the 5 of Pentacles here. And traditional Rider-Waite, this is the one with the stained glass windows with the people outside. And they have a sense of loss, of not having enough material wealth, struggle. Right here, the keyword on this one's loneliness. I think maybe you had some really, really big plans over the last 6 months. So end of year last year, you probably were like, oh, 2026 is going to be my year and I'm going to do it. But maybe going into this year, you had some financial difficulties, some issues at home, but a lot of feeling of lack. You've been distracted by the goals that you've had, especially because I think they are related more financial, either a new job or a new business opportunity or just something to enhance the finances at home. Just haven't been there since the beginning of the year. So it's just kind of distracted you in a big way where it's like, I can't even think about moving forward with anything right now because I'm just stuck here. Understandable. But card number 2 is, what am I succeeding at right now? And you get the 10 of Cups, which is a great card, which usually symbolizes stability in the family and happiness in the family and domestic life. It's a card of not having struggle, of finding happiness and pure happiness, not, happiness for the sake of happiness, but just like, what makes you happy. The things around you that are important and prioritized. So no matter what is going on here that is distracting you, especially in the financial situation, you are doing everything you can to make sure that your sphere, your family, the people around you are not feeling that. You're being very uplifting and make people feel like they are abundant. So good job. Card number 3 is, where do I need to pivot? What needs to change? So we have the Knight of Cups. I think with this, I think you feel like you are giving a lot of yourself, again, to make those around you feel abundant and happy and fulfilled. But I think that you are not filling your own cup. You are trying to be the savior. You are trying to be the one that people depend on for emotional support, for just being there when people need you. And you're not asking for anything in return. You're not asking for help. You're not asking for people to take some of those burdens off of you emotionally. So I think this is saying that maybe you need to pivot by, yes, be the champion people think you are, but do it in a way that it's not deflating for you. Because, the key word on this one is loneliness, and I feel like you are giving and giving and giving and not getting anything in return. That's just what I'm feeling on that. So card number 4, where do I need to push through? And we have the Queen of Swords. This deck's a little backwards, where they have swords as the fire element and they have wands as the air element. They can get interchanged in the classic Rider-Waite. It's usually swords are the air element and wands are the fire element, but this is the deck we are working with. So we have the Goddess of Fire. Where you need to push through, especially because it's reversed. I feel like you have some sort of energy about you. Where I think you need to push through is, I think you're really, really good at connecting to people emotionally. And maybe that is your skill set. Maybe that is how you express love and who you are, your authentic self. We are here, we got the Lapis to talk about your authentic self and being true to who you are. And that is a very complete and full emotional person. But in order to manifest and get your intentions, especially in this Sagittarius, this is ruled by Jupiter. This is about your truth. And the truth is, you are having a hard time taking some action. You're having a hard time not actually setting the goals, not actually making the stair steps that will lead you to that goal. You're worried about things financially, and it's kind of turning into a little bit of an excuse right now. It's just some truth. And you're masking it by showing abundance to others, but it's easy for you. That's easy for you. The hard thing is actually getting out of your comfort zone and taking direct action, setting up goals and achieving those goals. So I would right now go get a notebook out, put what you're trying to accomplish, and then start writing steps on how you're actually going to do it, and then put them in your calendar and do them. This is like my hard love reading over here, because you love soft love, and we need some hard love now. We need to push. I love Lapis, and it always makes me think of the story of the goddess Inanna, and how she has to let go of everything and strip down to nothing and sacrifice to be able to find her path. So you've got to strip away some of what you think is your identity to be actually able to achieve what you're trying to achieve. If you're not taking actual actions toward it, it's just not going to happen. And you can think that it's financial or domestic. You can think it's because you're taking care of other people, but it's also just a term I like to change is not, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I took that out of my vocabulary and changed it to that's not a priority. And if you start using those words, that's not a priority, then you start realizing what your priorities actually are. Are you actually spending all your time, our most precious resource, on things that are not serving you in the long run? So think about that. Card number 5 is where do I need to expand? And Sagittarius is about freedom and travel and opening up new things, optimistic. And we have the moon reversed. So this could go a few ways. The moon can be about secrets and about shadows and about things being revealed, but we're in a moon season. That is why I got my little full moon here. We're talking about full moon in Sagittarius, and the moon reflects light. It reflects what you're working on right now. It expands, it shines on things. It can create shadows because at a full moon, it's at its brightest. When it's reversed, I think that means that we need to come out of shadows. We need to be in the light. We need to articulate what we are trying to accomplish. So I think this is relating to this and this, where I feel like you've been going through some actual shadow work. I think you've been emotionally working on things, but more internally than actually asking for help and finding mentors, maybe talking to somebody about what you're working on. Journaling's really, really good for you right now. Make sure you're journaling, even if it's just putting things on paper that don't make any sense, but just get it out of your head. You need to crawl from the shadows. You need to get out of the shadows. Get into the light. And then where do I need to aim my arrow? Where do I need the most focus? And we have the 5 of Wands. Now this card says struggle, and usually the 5 of Wands, it is a bunch of people fighting with each other. I see this, it's a lone wolf that thinks that they have to do everything on their own. But look at all the other symbols here. You have the light of the moon, you have this shooting star, and you have a bird that is coming here as a messenger. And I think that was, where did I see that? Over here. And comets back in the day were harbingers. They usually, in lots of cases, represented, doom. But here we're reversed, right? You need to aim your arrow on being able to see some new perspectives. Take that journal, take that piece of paper out there and write out the things that you are struggling with internally or with your inner circle of people, your family, your friends, the things that are draining you right now, and find out why they are draining you. Narrow the scope. Look for messages in the people around you. Pay attention, listen, get out of your own head. And the more inspired actions that you take, the more you will be open to those messages, and they will point you in the right direction. So I think this was kind of a tough love reading for you. You're doing so much good and you're helping so many people, and those people are very, very lucky to have you in their life. But it's starting to become a drain on you. And I think you just need to get out of that cycle, get out of that repetition, and start moving to inspired actions that will actually take you to your long-term goal. Because you know what that goal is. But write it down. Put it on a piece of paper. Put it somewhere you can see it. I recommend getting a piece of lapis because I think this will help you with your journey and finding that authentic self. I think this reading will be good for you probably through the summer, because I think once you get into like harvest season in the fall, you're going to be able to release a lot of stuff that you will be working on this summer. So keep doing the good work, keep fighting the good fight, but make sure to take care of yourself too, okay? So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one, okay?